Hello, good morning, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Today, I'm going to be giving you a lecture on respond to a situation task. It's a new task which PSN has added from the 7th of August 2025. So, earlier in our speaking section, we used to have read aloud, repeat sentence, describe image, retell lecture, answer short questions, 5 tasks only. Now we have basically 7 tasks. So the first task, which is respond to a situation, along with it, summarize group discussion, has also been added. However, this lecture is focusing only on the task which is respond to a situation. So let's talk about respond to a situation in a bit of detail because I don't want you guys to be panicked and I want you to, it's actually a very easy task. So we'll go through the breakdown of it one by one, and we are also going to make sure that you guys have no problems whatsoever the case is in regards to applying and doing this question in the examination. So respond to a situation. This will come after answer short questions. So if we look at the format, after answer short questions, we will get summarize group discussion, and the very last question of your speaking would be respond to a situation. Now, in respond to a situation, first let's have a look at the interface of the question that we would be getting in the examination. Listen to and read a description of a situation. You will have 10 seconds to think about your answer. And then you will hear a beep. You will have 40 seconds to answer the question. Please answer as completely as you can. So below what you see over here is basically a scenario given to you. And the same scenario is also going to be in terms of an audio spoken out to you. Exactly the same words. You have applied for a summer job as a research assistant to your professor. You have not heard if your application was successful and need to check with your professor so that you can organize accommodation for the summer if necessary. You want to leave a phone message for your professor, what would you say? So you would be listening to this in the form of an audio as well. So these are what I would like to say situations. These are short situations whose answer you have to give. So what's the key information here? So you have a question or a situation which is given to you, it's written and you would hear the audio as well. In regards to the timing, when you approach this question or when this question starts, the audio will not straight away start speaking. You will have 15 seconds with you. After the 15 seconds, speaking those 2, 3 lines which are already written over there, you have 15 to 20 seconds for that. After the 15 to 20 seconds, you have 10 seconds time before you start speaking, and your answering time is 40 seconds. Now, remember a couple of things first of all over here. Number one, this task is giving you score only for speaking, which means that there are 3 components where the computer is going to be still scoring you: fluency, pronunciation, and content. So remember, over here, we have to speak fast, but we have to speak it in the form of a dialogue, in the form of addressing someone, because every situation which would be given to you, it is requesting you to address an audience or one person. And the few indicators which we would be just now shortly talking about, the strategies how to do it, are going to be separately mentioned. But remember, you still cannot take over here pauses. You still cannot take over here sounds of hesitation. You cannot do that. Pronunciation is very important, making sure you are still opening your jaws, you're still speaking clearly, you're still taking the vowel sounds out to make sure that this is important. Now, content over here. What is content? What is the computer interested in? First thing for content you have to remember, which is also your first strategy, is your response must answer this situation. You cannot add extra information in it. You cannot give extra details in it. If you give extra details or information which is not deemed necessary, that will not help you for content. Your score would possibly be deducted as well. So do not go for extra information. Do not go for unnecessary details. Stick with what's given to you over there. strategies to do this task. How can we make sure that despite this being a new question, we are able to get a full score over here? We are able to get the highest score. First point is using keywords from the scenario. Whatever the scenario is given, we will just be practicing a question even so you don't get stressed out about it at all. So we have to use keywords from the scenario. That is the success. That way our conversation, our response will not be deemed as off topic. Now, this is something which is very important. The second point, which is you must use words like I, my, because you are giving the response back. So you will not use third person over here. It has to be I or my. In most scenarios, you have to be very polite. Excuse me, hi. So your tone in which you are talking, that should also be reflecting being polite over there. Do not change information. What I've already told you, do not add extra information. Use polite and formal words depending on who you are talking to, or in the scenario, who is your audience? Is it your professor? Is it your friend? Is it a customer? Who is it over there? So you have to be formal. You have to be polite over there. Now, one of the most important strategies, what I am going to be giving out for this, and I have already given some tests over here on Pearson's website, some questions, and I've got a full score for them because officially the test is out on the 7th of August. We are making this video way in advance, and I can with surety tell you this will be 1000% working. If you would observe in the timing, you have a preparation time 15 seconds, then an audio time 15 to 20 seconds, then another 10 seconds with you. But here, what's the catch? What is the place where you can actually make sure that you are going to be on top of this? It is understanding one thing, that whatever is written, the scenario, what you can see also in front of you, what is written, that is exactly going to be spoken. So don't waste your time in waiting for the audio to be played. When you are in the preparation time, to allow yourself more time so your response is more confident, start reading the scenario given to you straight away. That is the most important thing. So you look at it and don't wait for the audio. You have applied for a summer job as a research assistant by your professor. You have not heard if your application was successful, and you need to check with your professor so you can organize accommodation for the summer if necessary. You want to leave a phone message for your professor. What would you say? This time you can read it in the preparation time. The first 15 seconds you can read it. And when the audio is going, this is my very strong suggestion: mute the audio or take the volume down to zero and think of the answer by reading, because the lines are already in front of you. Draft your answer. Now, another very burning question, because we have given out templates for every single thing. Would any template work over here? Is there any format that I should be following? And listen to this answer very carefully. Look, you can devise, or we can give out a template, but please remember, since scenarios are different, one standard template, don't fall for that. There is a format that I can tell you, which we will be discussing with some examples as well. But please remember, don't for this question go for any template. Reason being, if I even make a template, the way how you will address a professor, the way how you will address your friends, the way how you will address a customer, the way how you will address someone who's interested in your product is completely going to be different. Yes, the standard thing is you will be polite. The standard thing is you will be using polite words. And the other thing, what I've just told you, is we are going to be using words in our response like I, my, hi, excuse me, politeness. Now, example question, I will not be playing the audio for this so that your focus remains on the scenario and you are able to understand what I'm saying, because as I've earlier mentioned, the audio is exactly going to be the same what you can see in front of you. So what is the question? You are doing a group project for a class. The other members of your group have asked you to prepare the slides for the presentation. You are willing to do the slides but need them to give you all the information that you have to include before the weekend. What would you say to them? Now, understand one thing. If you want to take notes over here, I would strongly suggest that you do take some notes so that you know what is going to be the flow of your conversation, what is going to be the method in which you're going to be responding. Notes over here are not going to be very complicated. They will not be in detail. Details are not required because remember, your answering time is 40 seconds. You don't have to speak for exactly 40 seconds. If you speak for 20 to 35 seconds and you are answering this prompt, this situation effectively, you still get a full score. Keep that thing in mind. So now how will I respond? Let's see if I can take some notes or if there is no need for notes here. Look, fair enough. It's not going to be really needed. Again, if you want to write, you can write words on your notebook, which would be given to you like hi, excuse me, or hi guys, because you are addressing your friends here. So you will not be extremely polite as a professor, but again, decency and your professionalism must be exhibited. So what we would be saying over here is in our response, hi everyone, I'm happy to create the presentation for all of you. Since it's a group assignment and we have to be done soon, I will be suggesting that all of you please send me the relevant information for this project as soon as possible so that I can have the presentation prepared for you all by the weekend. So would Friday work for you guys? Is this enough time? I will be sending you an email. Please confirm my information or please confirm by email if that works for everyone. That's all. Nothing too complicated, nothing too out of this world that you would be like, oh my God, what's this question going on with? What's happening over here? So remember, polite, remember, flow. These are the things which have to be taken into account always, always, and always. Now, what I'm going to do is I will be sharing one more question with you guys. And I will just do that with you right now as well, just so you have a bit more practice with you. And so you don't feel like, okay, one question, uh, probably not enough. So let's do another question over here. Another scenario. You have applied for a summer job as a research assistant to your professor. You have not heard if your application was successful and need to check with your professor so that you can organize accommodation for the summer if necessary. You want to leave a phone message for your professor. What would you say? First thing, before you are going to think even about making an answer, focus on what is asked over here. The thing which is asked over here is if you have applied for a summer job as a research assistant, you're going to be addressing your professor and your concern is accommodation. That should you organize it or no? So what would you say? Straight away you would say, hi professor, I hope you're doing well. I'm just following up with you in regards to the position for the job that I have applied as a research assistant with you. I was just wondering if you could please be so kind and inform me about my application, if it is successful or no, since I would be arranging accommodation. So arranging accommodation earlier would make things a bit easier for me. And if your outcome is positive, please let me know so I can accommodate the accommodation accordingly. This is the response you should be giving over here. When you give this response, you get a full score straight away. So let me now summarize and break this down for you. Whenever you do any question, first of all, in the preparation time, read the question, highlight in your mind or write down the important information. So you are doing a project for a class. Other members have asked you to prepare slides. You are willing to do, but you need information. You need all the information to have include before weekend. So you are preparing slides. You need the information from your team members because you have to prepare it before the weekend. What would you say? So these are the three things which we have to be answering or in a polite way asking the audience, which is our friends here. Over here, we are respectively going to be talking to our professor and we have applied for a research assistant job And we need to know the outcome of the application purely because we need to prepare our accommodation accordingly. This information, if you have and you respond back to it, you will never ever have any problems. Now, I didn't follow any template over here. Please, as I said, don't fall for these templates for this specific task only. Reason being is that every situation, every scenario is different. The more words from the given situation you will include in your response, the higher score you will get. And happy practicing, guys. Thank you so much, and good luck to you all.